The law has addressed the public space and the private space, and when I say space, I literally mean space. I don't mean intellectual space, I mean physical space. This home in which I live, it's a private space. Whereas if I were to walk down the street, it's a public street. This sharp distinction has been maintained in the law. There was a time when people used to say the law has no role to play in your home. Now that concept is broken the moment you have a law which regulates what's going on inside that space. And what this act does is it defines what is domestic violence. Traditionally, we tend to think of violence as just physical violence. So, if a husband raises his hand on a woman, you and I would have no difficulty saying this is violence. But then, violence is manifested in very different ways. The word domestic violence in the Act has been defined to include physical, emotional, psychological, sexual, economic violence. So it's women who can go to court and say, I am being treated with violence by my husband or my partner or my father or my brother. That's the broad framework of this law.
The same as Indian family is not a space for women. It silences women.
So we are very fed up about the women's experiences at home, because we believe that for women in India or elsewhere, the home is a place where she gets security and protection, but that is the first place where our rights are violated.
A women's movement for the first time said that this violence is not a matter of right, it is a crime. Such kind of incidences were, though experienced, they were not talked about in the name of honor. 3 out of 5 women who are abused in their marital homes, it's a huge percentage. This business of it being a private affair definitely was a big issue and continues to be today. A large percentage, above 95, would not want to take the police route. They did not want to see their husband or the father of their child in jail. And the law 498 didn't really address that, because it was a criminal law and all it did was punishment for the man, but there was no relief for the woman. So that's the way the situation was in the 80s.
There were many things that came into play. One was to use all the international commitments that India had made, CEDAW, Beijing Platform of Action, the Vienna Declaration on Human Rights.
And this is not a phenomenon only for India. I was to underline that. This is a global phenomenon with domestic violence.
And when we are hit by a problem in the country, usually we end up in asking for legislation, because we feel that social legislation gives a long-term relief to an issue.
The law addresses how to get married. It tells you how you need to get married for your marriage to be recognized. It also tells you how to exit a marriage, because it tells you how to get a divorce. It doesn't tell you what happens while the marriage is in existence. The writing was on the wall. I mean, we knew that this was the call of the times, that there needs to be a law addressing the issue of domestic violence.
Actually, it was a very consultative process. Once the draft was done, then everybody in the country, all over actually, they took the draft and then we all gave feedback on the draft.
The Lawyers Collective had tried to contact various organizations, concerned individuals who were working on issues of domestic violence.
This kind of work requires extensive study, extensive research, extensive documentation, and all this does require funding.
This act is an act that is intended to do firefighting, to give immediate relief and immediate protection and put an immediate and quick end to very specific acts of physical or emotional violence.